Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for the long-awaited, I think, a 2-week break in between for the Golden Cap. Couple issues between, but we're back on Monday as planned. Not really, but I'm here with Dolphin in his costume.
Hello.
If you didn't catch his stream, VOD's up. I don't know if you can still donate.
Yes, you still can. So if you go to freethesea.net and you click donate now, it lists a bunch of different ways to donate. If you can donate with PayPal, you can donate with card, Bitcoin, cars, and we're still giving out. If you still want to donate, we can still give out the donation incentives, $7, and you can get an item signed by a lot of invite players or staff. And there's some more there, so check it out if you like. But yeah, how are you doing today?
Good, it's been a while, so a couple of these matches maybe not too fresh in the brain, but there's at least one big upset that I did not see coming, and I looked at the logs the day after and was very surprised.
Yeah.
So we'll be getting into that, and also I don't know how to pronounce this, but there's servers for RGL. If you want to explain more about that.
Yeah. So Quixelite, I think
I have no clue.
is called that. But so basically they're a server sponsor that is new to the scene. They have North American. Let me see if I can pull up the post somewhere. Well, I lost it. But while I pull that up, basically they have 3 locations primarily right now, which include Iowa, Las Vegas, and Salt Lake City. And so they are currently judging the popularity of it so far. They have dozens of servers, and they were previously in the Australian, New Zealand scene, but they're expanding to North America and Asia. And so they have a bunch of sponsorships with RGL, so they're supplying a good number of them for us to use, and they are based through Discord. So if you want to kind of reserve it, kind of like the equivalent of ServeMe right now. So they're becoming a competitor in that scene. But yeah, seems like they're trying to do the trial. If it goes well, they'll expand their locations, and let's hope it does, because I think it'll be popular. But yeah, that's pretty much it for that announcement. And then going back to Free the Sea, I just wanted to mention, thank you everybody who raised just over $1,700. So thank you very much. And you can probably view the VOD on Twitch, and we will probably be uploading a highlight reel soon to our YouTube. But that's about all the current news that we have right now. So if you want, we can get into the match reviews.
Yeah, so first match we got here, all the way back from week 4B, Froyo versus Mad Lux on Villa. I don't think I remember this one at all, but
Mad Lux?
They got around. Or Morning Light. ML, Mad Lux, Morning.
Mm-hmm.
They stole the letters, but they did better than the lower bracket final or upper bracket final last season. They got around.
True. So it looks like they kind of all the rounds were pretty quick. The longest one was the longest one was just under 4 minutes. The quickest one was under 2 minutes. But that even applies to the round that Morning Light won. They just kind of swept through it, just kind of did Froyo Tech to Froyo Tech. But I was expecting a bit more out of Morning Light. It's a new map to everybody, but with Morning Light being that 5CP team, I expected a little bit harder competition. But seems like Froyo Tech is Froyo Tech, and they just couldn't stand a chance against them.
Yeah, I don't know. The thing is, I doubt Morning Light really scrimmed this at all. So I'm not too surprised. I'm kind of impressed. They took the first 2 mids, so maybe they put a little bit time in, got the mids down, but eventually Froyo, got down to it. But not too much to really say there. Skis almost went positive. Expected from the 5-1 winning team. DM masked, so that is Skis, But next game we got here, Witness Gaming versus Wonderwall. It was a 4-0 for Witness Gaming, and this was the match I was talking about that was just super surprising.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I didn't see this coming. And now that when I looked at the logs, it kind of all made sense, because what they did is they said, I know Rio's a good combo scout. So Rio played combo scout, I think, last season in Div 1. what they did is just slid Yosh onto Sniper and Soldier, which they actually did for a couple matches later where they had Rio Scout, Yosh Sniper, which makes a bit of sense. Maybe I'll go into it later when we talk about power rankings, but they absolutely steamrolled them. Virgil 2 deaths to 8, Low Guys 8, which you never see. The soldiers on Wonderball didn't have a great game, but it's kind of expected when you get 4-0'd on Viaduct. And Rio dropped 33-7, Yosh 30-10 with 14 headshots. So
And
yeah, they got Viaduct.
Sin Karma did pretty well on the damage side, over 400
Of
DPM,
course.
almost bottom deathing, but it just seemed like kind of like a roll, which I wasn't obviously expecting, but it was on product, so I think the Yosh factor definitely played into account. He went 19-5 as Sniper, playing 15 minutes of it versus 9 minutes on Soldier. So he's really making that Sniper play this season, and it's definitely affecting their results in a positive light.
Yeah, I really like how they changed their roster, but I don't know. I'm guessing they also Wonderball also didn't have caps. They had high five, which probably isn't the biggest deal that you lose caps for someone like high five, but maybe that played a part. But yeah, I don't know. Looking at this kind of makes me a little bit less confident in Wonderwall's map pool, because I kind of just assumed Alkoth they were good at, and then Proto comes out and they get absolutely blown out. Given this may be just a really good map for Witness Gaming, because it looks like a good map for Sin Karma. Yosh can play Sniper. Rio's a solid combo scout. Walrix looks like he held down the fort, and Smiles also looked like he did his job. Along with Virgil, 2 deaths. That's pretty impressive. But I think, unless you got something to say about that matchup,
No, I mean,
move on.
It just seemed like a roll, like in every aspect. 120 versus 68 kills. Virgil clearly outperforming Law Guy with those deaths. Law Guy actually dying more than Rio, surprisingly. But yeah, that's not much to talk about, except just surprisingly quick. But our next match coming in here is going to be Morning Light versus Corsia, a very anticipated one, and Corsia actually taking the 5-3 lead onto Morning Light on Snakewater. So, did you cast this one, or was this somebody else?
I did cast this one.
You did.
By myself.
Oh yes,
This
you
was the
did.
this
I
was the solo
remember.
one, yeah.
And
But
you had
this
no
was
breaks in that entire
no,
thing.
that was the fastest game, I think. Maybe not the fastest because COTS exists, but one of the fastest game in the past few seasons. Surprisingly, I thought it'd be a little bit more, sit there with Sniper, but if I remember correctly, it was a lot of Corsia on the aggressive in stalemates, so they kind of dictated where they usually do faster paced, less Sniper, more like 1-man, 2-mans, where Morning Light would do a lot more, Sniper, Spy, 1-man, stuff like that. So it was very, very fast, and I think the one word to really describe, maybe 2 words, is bot mode. Really came in. I think he dropped 60 total, maybe not, but yeah, he dropped 61 in total, 38 in the first half, and he just made play after play whenever they needed it. And so both teams had ringers. I think both teams' ringers did pretty well. Maybe not high five, but I think high five did a decent job. I don't think the stats tell the full story, but bot mode did really well. Laz did really well, but I definitely think bot mode was a very large factor, and if he wasn't there and doing what he did, they probably would have lost this game. But you never know. It happened already. Maybe Yite would have came in and stepped up. Probably not in the same way, just not really how Yite plays. But yeah, just a really good game overall, really back and forth. Yeah, in the end, I think it was 5-4 in mids for Corsia, and with them everyone having ringers, there is another matchup this week. It should be on Thursday. Don't take our word. I don't think it's been scheduled yet, but sometime this week or the next week, rematch will happen. And I think both teams have their full rosters, with Ash being unbanned, and I think Dingo is back. So that should be a really, really good matchup leading into the playoffs.
It definitely should be. And like we saw in here, even though they had ringers, the game was extremely close. Like, when you look at the kills and damage, it's like no difference whatsoever. But you have looking at the logs, Morning Light had most of their players near the top, but the scout combo on Corsia just outperformed everybody else on either team, I think. But I would really definitely tune in this Thursday to see the rematch because I'm just expecting it to be a repeat of this map. Not sure what map they're going to be playing, but I think it'll definitely be one of the closest.
Yeah, and like one more thing I remember, it was just meds dying left and right. Just one med dies, everyone comes in, trades the other med, and it's just an absolute DM fight. And that's probably why a flank scout really prospered like bot mode. And I think overall it was a close game. And I'm looking at, yeah, for the next matchup they have, Corsia does have the home team advantage. And yeah, they get to pick the map. So that'll probably dictate a little bit of what you'll see. You'll probably won't see goalie wash. And yeah, you'll probably see some standard 5 CP because I don't think either's teams really like Koth that much. Maybe Corsia likes Clear Cut a little bit, but yeah, I wouldn't expect something too weird.
Yeah, especially if Morning Light tries to ban Koth as soon as possible, which they always do. So I'm expecting. I'm not really sure what to expect in terms of maps, but definitely 5 CP, and it'll definitely be a close one. But might as well move on to the next one unless you have anything else to say.
No, I think that's it.
Yeah. So this one, Global Clan versus Froyo. Froyo getting the 4-0 because it's King of the Hill on Clear Cut, and I mean 3-4 minute rounds didn't seem like Global Clan really had any chance of winning this. Clearly outfragged, outdamaged in every aspect, and I mean this is just another case of, and you're gonna hear it a lot, Froyo being Froyo. King of the Hill, Clear Cut, new map. Not much to say except Froyo like clearly outdid them on every level. Hayes sadly going 1-13. A bunch of people on Gold.
Oh, he went 2-13 in the first half too.
Did he?
Yeah, I didn't. Oh my. All right,
Oh no. But,
hate to see it.
Lots of sub 200 DPM. It's just sad to see, but it's basically number one team versus the last team, so can't really expect much else.
Especially with like Bagel, it's really hard to like catch your breath because what's going to happen the entire game, as soon as you get to the fight, you're either getting forward held or the other team is going to be pushing one of the houses or bombing forward and stuff. And it's really, I don't know, Koth's really tough to really, get your ground, get together. Besides maybe, oh wait, no, this is Clear Cut. I didn't even realize this is Clear Cut and they were getting run over like that. I thought it was Bagel, but yeah. So they were just getting probably their flank absolutely destroyed, telling from Hayes' stat line. That's probably what was happening. Nazar didn't do too well either, but they did get steamrolled. I don't know how many times they capped. They capped 3 times total, but yeah, just overall, kind of an expected result. Like you said, number 1 team versus number 6 team. So yeah, nothing too surprising.
Yeah, and I think unless you have anything else to say, we have another match that kind of went the same exact way. Froyo Tech versus Wonderwall, 5-0 for Froyo. And let me take a look at the logs here. If you have anything to say about these on first impression.
They didn't lose a mid and they won in 18 minutes. And there was a little bit of class switching, so I'm assuming, they kind of knew what the end result was going to be, and they just accepted their fate. There was a little bit of a little bit of pyro, a little bit of double pyro in play, but yeah, not much to really say there.
Yeah, sadly, Rakuso going 0-11, sub 200 DPM on goalie, and I mean it's pretty much just the last match, except maybe not number 1 versus number 6, maybe number 1 versus number 4 or 5, but yeah, it's just a repeat of last match. Double pyro, a bit different, but
they're trying something new that we don't know, but
yeah, I don't think it really mattered in the end. So although Cactus Wactus Fruit did get a kill on a Reflect Pipe and a Reflect Rocket, if you want to say anything about that, but other than that, they just kind of got wiped.
Yeah, I think these logs are incorrect for the next game. But let me see. I'll go look for her real quick. Okay, here it is. I'll put it into Discord. But so next game, Morning Light versus Witness Gaming. I think I sort of remember watching this game. I think someone was streaming it. And let's see.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was what. Okay, so big thing that's a very big surprise. I think this match was closer than the score indicates. I don't exactly remember the game because I was doing something else, but big thing, Witness Gaming won 6 mids out of 7 and they lost 5-1, which we've seen a couple times this season, more often than I really expected. And as you can see, the soldiers on actually Yosh did really well as well, but the soldiers on Morning Light really, topping almost the kills and the damage. Another big game from Rio, which I don't know. I really like the switch they made where they put Rio on Combo Scout and then Yosh on that roam or that is he on Pocket? Yeah, Pocket where you can just flex to sniper constantly, and he's just so good at it that it's just going to be really, really annoying where you can try and do something a little bit different where maybe you're not as good at cookie cutter. And I think Rio definitely helps with the calling and being that big leader in the combo. But overall, it looks like they really couldn't convert those rounds, and Morning Light did a great job fighting from behind, which seen a couple times this season. But good job to both teams. Honestly, Rio really, really stepping up. Virgil keeping up with A's and going down 6-1 though. And yeah,
This match, I think it was the Deja Vu match where it was the exact same teams, exact same map, and the exact same casters. Although this time, the last time they met was a lot closer than this one. So it was a bit disappointing to see Morning Light. Not disappointing, but surprising not to see it be as close as last time. Like you said, Rio top fragging by a good margin, 13 frags between him and Sandblast. And Sandblast usually does pretty well. Kind of stayed low this match, but in that sense, I think the soldiers really compensated for him stepping back. Soapy and Alpha switching to soldier was actually pretty good. He did a lot of work that game.
I think that's over though. Pretty sure.
Is it?
He's back Scout because Dingo's back, I think. So he's going to be back on Scout, unless Dingo wants to try his hand. But
we'll see what they do for playoffs.
Oh, okay.
I think they're the team that wouldn't mind switching around, and it might work, might not, but I don't think they're going to be afraid to see.
All right. So next game we got Corsia versus Wonderwall. It was on Process. It was a 5-1. And I watched this a bit. Another just bot mode game. 51-25.
Jeez.
He's absolutely lighting it up. If you look at his average stats, I think he's played 2 games. He's averaging around like 55, 56 kills a game. And it was only 38 minutes long. They got 51 kills.
That's nuts.
He's absolutely destroying. It's very impressive. He gets 9 demo picks as well.
Jeez.
But yeah, I didn't pay that much attention to this game as well because I was doing something. But yeah, from what it looks like, it was pretty dominant. But once again, trading mids 3-3 wasn't an absolute steamroll. 38 minutes, like I said, there was like 1 or 2 long rounds, but overall, pretty good game from Corsia. And with them, I don't think they have bot mode anymore. So let's see if that's a fluke or not. If they're just setting up their guy like that, or if it's him just absolutely taking it over. And if Yite can replicate it, or if not him himself on Scout, as a collective, as an aggregate, can get those numbers back.
Yeah, and also another thing about bot mode, he was the second least healed on his team. That just, I would understand if he got that many frags, being like a very overhealed pocket scout, but the fact is he's like very efficient with his frags, his timing. I think it would be foolish of them to swap him off of that. Obviously, I think if they were to go up against better teams, maybe Morning Light, Corsia, Froyo, I think bot mode scout is the key for that, but we'll see what they do.
I don't know. It's not their roster though. They were using him as a ringer. I don't know if it's like one of those things where it's like,
pick him up.
but who do you get rid of though?
I don't know.
That's the real question. Also, I don't know if bot mode wants to play like that because I don't think he's been scrimming with them. I could check, but I think he just showed up for matches and did this.
Well, if he did scrim with them, he would do even better, right?
I guess so.
Yeah, I mean...
Oh, he scrimmed a little bit.
So... anything else you want to say about this match?
No, not really. I think yeah, bot mode playing lights out, coming back from his TF2 hiatus and showing he still got it on a roll. I think people probably doubted him from last season where there were, questionable results from him on Scout, then him on Soldier, then him on the other Soldier role, and then back on Scout and stuff like that. And he showed he's got it.
Yeah. And coming into this next match, Wonderwall, Warning Light. Wonderwall, I think this was the surprise you were talking about, right?
No, it was the other one. The thing is, this game was a lot closer. I think what happened is actually maybe not. I know it was. Was it 3-2 when it was either 3-2 or 4-2, and then I think somebody told me people left the server, but looking at the logs, they didn't. But I'm assuming they probably knew it was pretty much over. But yeah, 5-2 from Wonderwall on Metalworks, which I don't know. I don't know if I'd expect this. Okay, that's it. 3 people left with 11 minutes left. Yeah, but still, it would have been a 4-2, maybe a 5-2 if they stayed. But still, a very impressive win. Low guy, once again outbetting the other time, the other med, And looking at it, Morning Light was winning all them. Usually, you don't see Morning Light win this many wins and then lose. And overall, they didn't really have players really jump off the stat sheet besides maybe Caps. But overall, as a team, they really stepped up. They had more. Actually, they did have more kills, a lot less damage. But yeah, that's really surprising. Seeing Wonderwall really feels like a mid team, and that's really how they get a lot of their momentum and rounds. And they showed they're more than that in a 60-minute game. Pretty sure, basically a 60-minute game, and they really came back from behind a lot of the times in Caps after him not playing that other match, and they get absolutely swept by Witness Gaming. He shows that he's that dude. He's that guy. Get the top frags in the server by a decent margin, and the person right behind was Howard, his teammate.
Yeah, I mean both the scouts on the team really kind of carried the rest of them. I mean, Metalworks, I'm not sure if is this like what class do you think would do best on Metalworks? I don't think it's really a soldier map, is it?
It's not a great soldier stat map. You can do stuff because there's such a big skybox, but you don't really get crazy stats like that.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, Wonderwall just kind of, and this was the map that Morning Light did an upset against Corsia. Nobody thought that Morning Light would even have a chance against Corsia, but then they flipped a 5-3.
I think that's a bit of an exaggeration. Yeah, it was. Was it 4? It was. They definitely swept them back. Corsia was up pretty bad, and then turned around instantly, and Morning Light really showed. But yeah, I don't know. This is a pretty surprising game. I don't know if this was the game where. I know one of the games on Metalworks with Howard went through draw. Oh no, it was against Witness Gaming. But yeah, this was pretty impressive, showing that I don't know. I thought Wonderwall, after their loss to Witness Gaming on a cough map, I don't know how I'd feel about their chances in the playoffs. And they showed that they're not just purely a CAW team. They definitely have some 5 CP in them. And given Morning Light did have a ringer, and they had Alpha and Soldier, who surprisingly did 60 more DPM than anyone in the server, which is so strange. Yeah. In like a slow game that bit big of like a ramp up. You usually don't see it, but
he got his other stats in terms of KD weren't that well, but maybe he was just using that damage to just kind of bot into the other team, sacking. Doesn't look like he only got the med like twice. Rikusa actually coming out with 8 med frags, Fruit coming right behind him with 5. So it didn't seem that Alpha's bombs were really effective against the other team as much as Wonderwall's was. So I don't know, you kind of have to consider that. But this match was a surprise to me, honestly. And that's pretty much what I have to say about this one.
Yeah, I think the big thing I remember now is it was a lot of the other team's med dying because, like you see, the soldiers on the other team got a combined 13 med picks. And I don't know, having that many med, like an 8 death difference is really hard to come back from. And that's probably why they won that many mids, but then they had their med die that many more times. And it's just, unless you're salvaging back, like in that Corsia Morning Light match where one med dies, the other one dies. This time it was one med dies, and then they all probably back up, shoot the soldiers, shoot the scouts, everyone that has to kind of come in, or they have to give up, refight on their own point. And it's really hard in that department to really come back from that big of a med diff unless you're saying, forget our med, let's go wipe their team.
Yeah, I mean, kind of summed it up, but I don't have much to say against this match. Any last thoughts on this one?
No, I don't think so. I think that's it. And this next game was on product, not process, just so you know.
Oh,
and
nice.
Because I was looking at a 4-0 on pro, that'd be insane if they timed out a 4-0 on process like that. But yeah, once again, Witness Gaming, they take it to Viaduct or Product, and they absolutely show out. So if I am on any other teams, they're not going to see this match anymore this season because this is one of the maps banned. 100% one of the maps banned.
Yeah, and like we said before, Rio, he's the one person that's been stepping it up every time he comes here. It's the third match, I think, that we said that he really stepped it up. Sin Karma also doing really well. Top damaging, having less deaths than Sky. That's pretty impressive. It seems like the soldiers on Global Clan just were kind of feeding. Let me see. Yeah, between the two soldiers, Nazara got 1 med frag. Hayes got 0. Didn't seem like they were really effective. In terms of the length of it, it seemed like they got kind of rolled. One of the first round was only 4 minutes long. Second 6 minutes, slightly better for Global Clan, but it doesn't seem like they really had any chance on this map. Maybe one round, but other than that, I couldn't really, looking at the stats alone, I couldn't really imagine it being more than that.
Okay, I've deciphered what has happened in this game. So the thing is, when there's a sniper on Viaduct, it's really on your soldiers to jump in and get on the sniper. And there's a couple numbers you can see that really illustrate how Rio got so many frags. 22 soldier picks.
Wow.
So it was probably a lot of the soldiers jumping in, trying to get on the sniper, because Yosh didn't have a great game individually, but I'm assuming they jump in, they kill Yosh, and then instantly after he gets traded, or the the players get traded out. But yeah, this is never gonna get in the map pool again. Make sure your car's not getting robbed. But I think that's the last match we have had that has happened. In this past couple of weeks.
Yeah, I just wanted to touch on the point that you made. Yosh dying to soldiers 9 times. Rio 22 frags on the soldier. Both the soldiers, Hayes died 18 times to a scout. Nazar died 16, and like the most after that is the demo on Global Clan dying 9 times. So it's very obvious they went in for a bunch of sacks. They got the sniper, like a third of the time or something like that. But other than that, they just kind of were chopped liver, basically, to the scouts of Rio and Smiles. So
one last thing is, Bear was ringing. He had, I think, like half the deaths of Sky, and big game from Walrex, 5 med picks. I don't know how big of an impact that had because I didn't see, but from what it seems, didn't look like there was a really, really close round because top was 6 minutes, which probably the other team had about a minute minimum on their clock, but 5 med picks, really big, making some plays while they only have 1 soldier. But yeah, I don't, like I said, I don't think you're gonna see product beyond the pool again unless Witness Gaming makes the playoffs, which from what I see is pretty unlikely, but it could happen.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna move into the predictions for these next few games, and only one of these have been for sure scheduled. The rest of them are up in the air. I don't think the teams have accepted or sent offers unless they've changed in the past little bit. But first game we got here is Witness Gaming versus Froyo Tech. I don't think there's much to say really. You know, I'd probably say it's just going to be a 5-0, and I wouldn't be surprised. Let me check who
For
has.
Froyo, right?
Yeah, for Froyo.
Okay,
Froyo.
just making sure.
Given Witness Gaming have the pick, I think Froyo would. They're probably going to ban product unless they're just like, all right, give us your best map. I want a challenge. But I wouldn't be surprised to see a weird map because I don't think Froyo is that scared of a Villa, a Clear Cut, a Bagel. And I definitely could see Witness Gaming down to pick something weird like that.
Yeah, something like a last resort, just to maybe have a chance for a round or two. But
Maps in.
yeah, I see Froyo doing 5-0 as well, no matter what map they play. So yeah, it's just gonna be one of those matches that it's first versus almost last team. But yeah, 5-0. I agree with you.
All right, next game we got Morning Light versus Global Clan. Let me check who's the pick because it maybe affects it a little bit. And it looks like Morning Light does have the pick in this game, and they're going to be playing Snakewater on an unknown date. Potentially either, well, it's probably November 3rd because it was either the 1st or the 3rd, and the 1st is gone. So yeah, and Snakewater, I don't know how well Global Clan has really done, but Morning Light, they had that match versus Corsia where they didn't look great, but they definitely showed that they're not pushovers on that map. And they also had a good game versus Wonderwall earlier in the season, a 5-1. They lost to Froyo as well, but not much to really pull from that one. But most likely, unless Global Clan is really, really insane on this map, which they haven't even played it this season yet. So you never know, but I'd probably say a 5-1 for Morning Light, yeah.
Morning Light, okay. I was actually thinking the exact same thing. I think Morning Light is going to take it pretty handily, but I think with how rocky they've been looking recently, I wouldn't be surprised if Global Clan take, I would say maybe 1 to 2 rounds. So I'm going to say Morning Light wins 5-2. I still think Morning Light is an obvious winner over Global Clan. It's just a question of how much. And with Morning Light, they're a good team, but I don't think they're a consistent team, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I could see that. And yeah, unless we got something else to say about that. Next game we got Global Clan versus Wonderwall. And this is a match that has big playoff implications. Because if I'll touch on a little bit more when we get to the power rankings and stuff like that. But Wonderwall needs to win this to secure their spot. If they win this, I think it's almost certain they make the playoffs. Because otherwise, it opens the door for Witness Gaming here. And let me check if they have a map for this yet, which it doesn't. No, they don't. But Global Clan does have the map pick, so if they have something in the bag, something in the back pocket that they want to pull out. They played Bagel twice this season. They haven't picked it either time. Actually, they got 4-0'd by Wonderwall, so we're not going to see that, most likely. Maybe you'll see a Viaduct get pulled out, but once again, they also got 4-0'd by Witness. So what the map is up in the air. It's probably going to be something a little bit more, expected standard. And Global Clan really does need to win this, but I don't know. I don't think they match up well because Wonderwall's a really good team on mids. And so far, Global Clan, a lot of times they're only in the game if they win the mids and then something disastrous happens where they get wiped, sent back to their last, and they lose the round. And if Wonderwall just wins mids, I think it's just over like that. I'm going to say a 5-2 for Wonderwall. And I'd hope for Global Clan to win because that'd make playoffs a lot more interesting, or at least the race for it. but I don't see it happening.
Yeah, I don't see that either. I would agree with you, but I think with this match, I think it's gonna be more of a roll than I think you might realize. Because I mean, with Wonderwall, with in my opinion, an upset against Morning Light, they're I think they've kind of handedly have a better advantage over Global Clan because if I'm remembering correctly, Global Clan is currently. Just want to make sure that I'm correct. They are
They have zero
currently
wins.
0-10 this season, and most of the matches they got, most amount of rounds they've gotten were 2 rounds against Warning Light, and I mean with Wonderwall they've been 4-0'd, 5-1. So I'm kind of gonna build off of that and say it's gonna be 5-0 or 5-1. I'll give them benefit of the doubt and go 5-1 for Wonderwall, but I think it's not gonna be too close.
Yeah, it definitely does add up. They haven't had too much success this season, and with them finishing all their matches versus Witness, most likely it's gonna be a 0-win season unless they get some upset win. And I think their best chance is probably versus Wonderwall because they got Corsia, they got Morning Light, they got Wonderwall, they got Froyo, and they got Corsia again.
Yeah.
So it's definitely gonna be rough if they want to try and get one dub on the table for the season. So next game we got here, Morning Light versus Froyo. If you wanna start in that one.
Yeah, Morning Light versus Froyo. I feel like this one's gonna be kind of interesting. Do we know what
It's on process.
it's on
Morning Light pick
process?
process. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna say that Morning Light might learn from their mistakes on their most recent loss to Wonderwall, and I think Metalworks and Process are pretty different enough where even if they lost to Wonderwall before on Metalworks, it doesn't really equate. Although they're 5 CP team, I think Metalworks is less of a standard 5 CP, so I think Morning Light's gonna have an advantage coming into this, but I think Froyo is still gonna take the W, but I don't think that they're gonna be prepared for Warning Light. I think Froyo's gonna take this maybe 5. I'm gonna say 5-3 because I have faith in Morning Light. I might be a bit too optimistic, but I think Sandblast, Psy, and we'll see if Alpha stays on Soldier. But I think
I doubt it. I don't think this roster is like that because I don't know. In the past teams where they've like really switched around, this time the soldiers on Morning Light really aren't like scout players. The only switch I could really see is Dingo and Psy, but that's probably most likely not happening. But given that Froyo has had the only upset in recent history on this map where they lost to 100B, I don't know if Morning Light really, because I don't know, because I think this team is probably, this Froyo is better than the Froyo then. I don't think Morning Light really has the coordination that 100B had, because that's really the main thing they had. They had that double soldier synergy, that coordination, that showstopper Ash. And yeah, I don't know. It's a little bit, I'd probably say a 5-2 for Froyo, just because, I don't know. It's Froyo, and Froyo's looked unstoppable this season.
Yeah, definitely. But like you said with the combo, I think that maybe the Psy Sandblast combo might substitute that Soldier combo that you mentioned, and that's why I'm kind of optimistic about it maybe being a mirror of that upset. But like you said, Froyo's Froyo, and I think they're still going to take it, but not without a fight, obviously. But
Yeah.
if you have anything else to say about this, we can maybe move on to the next matchup. It's going to be Witness Gaming versus Corsia. It's supposed to happen tomorrow, Tuesday, I believe, but they always reschedule. So let me see if they have have
They don't
any
have a
picks
map.
banned.
They don't have a map. At least Witness Gaming has the home team pick, and nothing's been banned nor picked yet. But like I said earlier, Witness Gaming, this is a must win. One of the must wins they have this season, and it's happening next week according to Walrex. But if they want to make the playoffs, they really need to win one of these games that you probably wouldn't say they'd be favored in, but they still have a shot for the playoff race. Given it's not insanely large, it's pretty small. They definitely need to rely on themselves winning games. They have one game they need to win that would really affect it, but this is one of those games they really need to pull out. But Corsia's looked strong, and I don't think they're going to let any super weird maps in. Maybe they'll let Clear Cut through, but 100% they're banning Product, 100% they're banning Villa, maybe something else. But with the pick here, it's going to be, unless there's something really in their back pocket, I think Corsia definitely has the advantage in this matchup. And I'd probably say it's going to be a 5-2 for Corsia.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see that. Going off of their previous history against Corsia, we can see that they get 5-0'd, 5-1, and it just doesn't seem like they can really contest. They pretty much lose to everybody but Global Clan, and that's why I'm inclined to believe that it's not as stark difference as versus
give
last.
them a little bit of credit. They beat Wonderwall. They beat Wonderwall on Product.
That is true.
Given it was Product, and that
True.
looks like their absolute best map. And I'd like to see what roster comes out. They want to. I think. I don't remember. I think at some point when I was checking, I may have seen Yosh back on Scout, but don't take my word. It was an off glance when I was doing something else. But yeah, I don't know unless I could see Yosh Sniper really being annoying on some of these maps as well.
It might be the Yosh Sniper, but how Morning Light can get away with banning all King of the Hill maps, and so I question whether they can sustain the Yosh Sniper being viable, because it's only so much viable on 5CP. Nowhere is near as viable on King of the Hill. We've seen a shit ton of European teams have.
The thing is, it's only really viable on one cough. The other maps, I think, I've heard people make arguments where they're like, it's not terrible on Bagel. I remember seeing, I think it was it Yosh surf on top of something you're not supposed to get on top of, and he did a crazy angle. I remember watching that. It was hilarious. But yeah, there's a couple 5CPs where it's definitely really powerful. And Yosh is probably, I think you could say, the best sniper in the division right now. And you get something like Process, you get something like Sunshine, you get I don't even know. There's other maps are good for it, but it's definitely not as good as those. Maybe Snake Water. But like you said, I think the number of rounds they get against Corsia goes up by 1 every time. And unless they want to break that trend and get a little bit more, unless they want to win 2-1 or 2-0, I'm saying a 5-2 for Corsia here.
Yeah, I think it's still gonna stay at most. They're gonna get 2 rounds, but I think Corsia is gonna come out on top of this 5-1. With the sniper, usually before he would roll out sniper on mid, while they're losing 4-0 or something like that. And by that time, it's pretty much they've accepted their loss. He might get a demo pick and then a scout pick, but a soldier would immediately bomb him, kill him, and they would still lose the round at the end of this. A couple trick shots, but nothing substantial enough to get them the round or any kind of advantage. So yeah, Corsia 5-1. Wouldn't be surprised if 5-2, but I can't see Witness Gaming really making a comeback in any sense versus them.
Yeah,
unless Corsia is a bit rusty from a certain person's ban.
Well, they've been scrimming with him, so they should be somewhat fine with that. But I don't know. The thing about sniper to mid is it works the first time, but as soon as the other team's expecting it, it gets infinitely harder because everyone's going to be up on you on the chokes, both soldiers bombing in. But yeah, I think I'd say a 5-2. I'd love to see the map, and I think this match may not be the most, looking at it just on paper, the most interesting, but with the playoff, the meaning to the playoffs that it has for for Witness Gaming and for Wonderwall, it'd be a little bit more interesting.
Yeah.
And
I mean, an upset could happen, but I don't think it's very likely. I think Witness Gaming, are they confirmed in or out, or are they still on the edge?
Witness Gaming,
Yeah.
it's still possible for them to make playoffs.
Okay. Well,
They
if
have to
they're gonna
win a
make
couple
playoffs,
matches, and Wonderwall has to lose a couple matches.
yeah, I think they would have to definitely get an upset here to kind of make it to playoffs. I couldn't see it any other way, but I think it's too late in the season for them to really be a huge upset team. So I'm inclined to say that, it's not really possible. But if you want to go ahead and move on to the next match, unless you have anything to say.
No, and I think this is one of the two matches of the week. Corsia, Morning Light, a rematch, given that there are 3 matchups between every team, almost every team, in this season of Invite because there are 6 teams. But this should be a really good match, really previewing the playoffs. Once again, you're probably going to expect to see this with them being the 2 and the 3 seed, I'm pretty sure most likely, unless I don't even think it's possible for them to fall out. It is possible for teams to fall out, but they're not going to fall out of the playoffs. But this is a Corsia map pick. They do have the home team advantage in this matchup, and I don't know what I'd expect to see because I know I'm not going to see goalie. You may see Metalworks, but Morning Light. The thing is, how likely is it that Corsia is going to pick Koth? So, because Morning Light, I don't know how you feel about that Snake game. I don't know how you feel about your Metal game, but I don't know how you feel about all 3 of the Koths and then Villa. So it's a bit hard. You got to pick your poison of which match you really want to see in the match here.
I don't think they're going to pick Koth because they've played Koth only one time before on Clear Cut, and they won 4-2 against Wonderwall. It's pretty obvious.
That was an upset in that.
Was
we
it?
thought, well, Wonderwall came out lights out on Clear Cut, I think once or twice.
Was that against Morning Light?
Yeah, it was against Morning Light. And yeah, they came out, did that, and then they lost to Corsia, like you said, on the same map, which pretty surprising at least. I had hope in Wonderwall. I think you could still say Corsia should have won, but Corsia definitely showed that they're no slouch on that map. I don't know how they feel about something like Viaduct, where maybe you'll see a bit of Alpha Sniper.
I think they would be a bit skeptic.
The problem is you can't really. I don't know how good the soldiers are at Scout on Morning Light to, flip down, where it's a little bit awkward. Yeah. But yeah, I would. I'd like to see a Koth. Probably won't, but you know what? I'm gonna go get on a limb here. I'm gonna say Corsia's feeling it. I'm gonna say a 5-3 again.
5-3. Okay,
but I could definitely see it going to time though. But last game was surprisingly very fast, so maybe it goes either way. But I think right now, given they also have the map pick, which is I think a decent advantage at least in the current way how the regular season works, I'd see a 5-3 right now if they get a map they want, unless they pick into Morning Light a little bit. That'd be the only problem there.
Yeah. Looking at their history, they have Corsia has 4 of their matches, basically half of the matches they played are on Snakewater. Last time they played against Morning Light is on Snakewater. I'm inclined to believe that they would switch it up. Not happily so, but I think basing off the scores, Morning Light beat Corsia in what was then an upset of 4-3 on Metalworks. Corsia beat Morning Light 5-3 on Snakewater. It's kind of, noticing the trend of Corsia, or actually Corsia beat Morning Light 5-3. My mistake there. I don't think anybody's going to play 6-3, but they're kind of going back and forth, and I feel like they're very even. I don't think it's going to go one way or another without one team having like 3 versus 4, 3 versus 5. The only question is Corsia going to go 5-3, 5-4, or is Morning Light going to go 5-3, 5-4? And my answer to that would be I think Corsia is, I think, having a better time than Morning Light recently. So I'm inclined to say that Corsia is going to win, but I still think Morning Light still has a sparkle in their eye, and I'm going to say that Corsia is going to win barely 5-4 if they pick
The one golden spot for Morning Light is you can slide that loss to Corsia off saying it was just a ringer. Their ringer dropped 61.
Exactly.
Like, that is insane. And I don't know if Yite can do that, or if they together can put up that many kills, that many, crucial picks. So definitely I would expect Morning Light to have a better shot in this game than the last game. But the problem is this time it is Corsia's map pick. And last time Morning Light did pick Snake. And with how regular season works, I don't know. I favor the home team a little, like by a round or two more than I would probably if it was neutral or the other team had it.
Mm-hmm. Good point. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be a match to watch. So tune in, I think, this Thursday. But I think you'd be crazy not to think that it's going to be down to the wire. But although we've had matches where we thought it was going to be a lot closer, but it wasn't. So it's kind of really hard to tell. There's so many different things like factoring into this. But I mean, what do you think?
If you knew the result every time, you would not watch the games.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's all we got for that game. I think it's on Thursday. Don't take our word, because no one knows. The teams never know.
Exactly.
I've played on teams I've never known the dates unless they're explicitly said, and it's the day before or the day of, and everyone knows. But next matchup we got here is Froyo versus Global Clan. I think this one will be pretty quick. I think Global Clan has kind of lost a lot of steam, especially after their first game. They lost to Witness Gaming, which I think you could definitely say was an upset from the beginning of the season. And they've just been on a downward slope since then. And Froyo has been on the up and up, or maybe not the up and up. They've been constantly just at the same level. And I think it's probably most likely going to be a 5-0 for Froyo.
Yeah, not surprising. I would be inclined to say the same. I think that if Global Clan and Froyo don't mess around at least a little bit this match, then it might be 5-0. But I'm going to give Global Clan benefit of the doubt. Somebody's going to be slacking a little, maybe have like Banny Meta, Habib Soldier or something like that. And I'm going to give Global Clan one round. I don't think it's going to be the round that's very back and forth. I think they might be lucky on a mid fight and get the momentum to round out that one round. But I think other than that, Froyo is going to have a pretty easy time on this match. It might be a like 15-minute 5-0, but I'm gonna give Global Clan one round. That little deviation, little spice in there. But I think there's not much else to say about this.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna throw Froyo. Banny will not let that happen in a match. So most likely, I think it's gonna be 5-0. But this is the second match of the week. I hope it does not happen on the same day. It probably will. And I'm getting insider information that apparently Froyo and Corsia are playing a triple header this week, or play all of their matches. Maybe not triple header, but they want to revert the forfeit win that they had against Corsia and play all three. Which, if it's a triple header, that is just a playoff series at that point. But that'd be really interesting to watch if it does happen.
Froyo has not played Corsia yet.
Not a single
It's
time.
been 2 months, almost 2 months, and there's been no matchup between the top two teams. That is weird and infuriating at the same time, but also exciting. I'm not sure whether we should.
From my insider source, it says it will either all happen on Wednesday or Thursday, and Morning Light on the other day. So back-to-back days of content like that. But let's get to like I said, probably the other match of the week, Wonderwall versus Witness Gaming. Like I said, this has insane playoff implications. If Witness Gaming want a chance to make playoffs, they need to win this game right now. Like, this is their number one shot to make playoffs, and then they have to win a couple other matches. I think Wonderwall has to lose one or two other matches as well. So, yeah, I think that this has huge playoff implications, which definitely ramps up how interesting it is to watch. And it's hard to say because let me double check, but I know for sure last time they met up 4-0, given it was Viaduct. And the time before they met, it was a 5-1 on Metalworks. So it hasn't been a close game yet. It's just been roll or roll in the other way.
Mm-hmm.
And given this time around, Wonderwall does have the map pick, which really is going to be a bit. You're fighting from the back. You know, you gotta come back from a little bit of a not a good start immediately if you don't get a map you want necessarily. At least.
Yeah, definitely the case, and I think I would expect that. I think gosh, this is insanely difficult, but I think I don't know what to think. How about you tell me your thoughts, and I'll kind of build off of that.
You know what? I'm gonna say what I want. I'm gonna speak it into existence. 5-4 Witness Gaming. I'm saying it. I want to see it because if that happens, the playoff race is not over. But if Wonderwall does win, it's over. Playoff race is over, and you hate to see it. You always want the last match of the season to be just the most important one. It really solidifies it. And I don't think we've had one this close in the past. Besides, actually, what was the team name? High Five Demo was really close at the end of the season, but yeah, you always love to see a nail biter like that, and I really want to see it be a 5-4. I don't know how confident I am in it, but I could see the problem is that it is Wonderwall's map pick.
Yeah, I think just for equality's sake, I'll say that it's gonna be 5-4 for Wonderwall, just because of that map pick, and I think I think Wonderwall, they're great and all. Witness Gaming definitely has the potential for this upset, but I think in the end, on paper, it just seems that Wonderwall is a bit, not by much, but a bit better than Witness Gaming, and I wouldn't be surprised no matter what score it is. But I'm just gonna throw this wild score prediction out there. So
yeah, I hope it's not like the other matches this season between them. But the thing is, the big thing that Wonderwall has is they have a couple, or at least one map now, because I don't know about the other Koth map, and Viaduct didn't look great given maybe it was just Witness Gaming being so good at it. But Witness Gaming gets a really good ban here because they don't have to ban the Koths. Maybe they'll ban Clear Cut. They can ban Metalworks where they lost pretty badly last time unless they think it was a fluke or they improved on it. So I don't think the pick ban is super against them this time, or at least for Witness. So that's a plus at least. But like I said, I think it's going to be a close game. It just matters which way it's going to go.
Mm-hmm.
And I could see this game going to time with probably Witness opting to sit on that Yosh sniper, let their playmaker make some plays, maybe a couple one-mans from Walrex.
I think it's only effective so much. Like we said, like Bagel, Clear Cut.
Well, on stalemates, I'm saying.
Yeah.
When it's instead of sacking, you sit on your sniper, and eventually Yosh will get a pick, or Wonderwall's going to have to be forced to trade in, or they just sit there and wait and hope you don't get headshot.
Yeah, but I think that's only going to be applicable. We only saw that on the Metalworks round when they were holding last. Yosh would go sniper, get like a drop on the medic, and then that's kind of everything he did that was really effective on sniper. So I don't think it's going to be too much of a difference on stalemates because it's not like they're going to be pushing last. I don't think they're a team that does sniper last push. I just don't see that happening, but I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised no matter what happens this matchup, but I think that's it for the predictions we have here. So next, if we want to get into our power rankings, we haven't updated them in a bit, so it'd be interesting to see what we have going on here for our power rankings, see if they're changed at all. But
Yeah, I completely forgot what mine were last time. So,
don't worry, I
uh,
have it up. I have it up.
okay, okay. So, do you want to start from the top or the bottom?
Let's stay going from the bottom to the top.
Okay, from the bottom.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty assumed who's at the bottom at this point in the season. I don't know if you want to pull out some crazy some crazy ranking here, but
No.
I'm gonna say Global Clan stays at the bottom.
Yeah. Sadly, I feel really bad for them going 0-10 right now. I if they can't get one round, any more than 2 rounds in a match, they're definitely probably not gonna make a comeback at the very end of the season. So I think sadly they're gonna stay at the very bottom. But I feel bad for them. But that's just unfortunately where they lie right now. And coming in at number 5, I think. Ooh,
You gonna change it?
I think I'm gonna. Let me just. I mean, Witness versus Wonderwall. That's the. That's the one where like they roll each other each time, so it's very close for me. But I think I'm gonna keep Witness Gaming at number 5. I wouldn't be surprised if they somehow make a comeback against Wonderwall, but I think I'm just gonna keep my guess from last time and keep Wonderwall and Witness at their respective positions with each other. What about you?
All right, so this is what I said I was going to go a bit more in depth of how the playoffs is going to work. So, right now, currently, Wonderball is 5-7. They have a 44.61% win, which is just how many rounds? Rounds won divided by total rounds, basically. And Witness Gaming is 4-7. So I forget how it actually works for playoffs. So I know it's if you have more wins, you definitely make it over. I forget if it's either head to head before win percentage or win percentage ahead of head to head. So right now, how it is Wonderwall, the matches they have left on their schedule, Global Clan, Witness Gaming, Froyo. So right now, if you say, I think it's pretty safe to say they're going to beat Global Clan, they're going to lose to Froyo. So most likely they're going to end up 6-8. And the big question is how they're going to do in this Witness Gaming game. Because if they win, and it is head-to-head as the most important things, and Witness beats Wonderwall and another one of the other teams they have to play, which they are going to have to play. They have to go through the gauntlet. They have to play Froyo. They have to play Corsia. They have to play Wonderwall. And they have to play Morning Light. So they're going to have to play all the teams that are currently in playoffs. And they're going to have to win 2 to even get themselves in, unless, I doubt it, but unless Wonderwall loses to Global Clan. They lose all their matches, unless they lose all their matches, and Witness wins 1 and loses the rest. So, given that, it's very unlikely, like I said earlier, that Wonderwall will make it. Their best, or that Witness Gaming will make it. Most likely, they're going to have to win 2 games, and they are still down in the win percentage, so far at least. And unless it's head-to-head, and Witness wins, and then they tie the win-loss, they can make it, but right now, I'm going to say Witness Gaming is at that 5th spot. I'm going to keep them there. I'd want to see a move up because that'd be a good story. You know, I don't think anybody really predicted they'd make the playoffs off their first season for a couple of these guys.
Mm-hmm.
And they definitely showed out. They showed that I don't think any of them really have had a season where they're worse than you'd expect. Every player. I think everybody showed out and really impressed most people in the division and watching.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty respectable, but what do you have to say for your 4th spot? Do you really think that Morning Light is going to be number 4 this season?
After Wonderwall, the thing is Wonderwall lost to actually, I don't know. It's hard because once again, Wonderwall did beat Morning Light in their most recent game, but they also got steamrolled by Witness on Product. But the thing is, Morning Light's probably not going to pick Product.
Absolutely
and you
not.
know what?
0% chance.
You know what? I'm going to keep it. I've been ride or dying. This has been my team this season, Wonderwall. I'm sticking with it. I'm going to keep Morning Light at 4. I want to see it. I could definitely see Morning Light being better at some of these maps, but the map pool is just so good for Wonderwall, and especially coming into the playoffs. You only get one ban, and then it's just whatever they want comes in unless it gets changed.
Yeah, I
But I'm
mean,
going to keep it this way around.
interesting, but a bit disrespectful, in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, Wonderwall, Witness Gaming, those are going to be like the two teams. Like we said in the beginning of the season as well, one team beats another, which beats another, which beats another. So it's kind of hard to really position them in such a way that we know one team is objectively better than the other. That's what I think is the case with Witness, Wonderwall, Morning Light, maybe Corsia, but I think I'm not sure if either of us can be right, but I think yeah, for Wonderwall, I think I'm gonna keep my positioning in respect to Morning Light and Witness. I think consistently, well, I think overall, Morning Light's definitely gonna be winning more rounds than Wonderwall is gonna be winning against Morning Light. So I'm gonna keep my 4, 5, and 6 in the same position. What do you think with Wonderwall and Morning Light?
I don't know. The thing is, at least with the top three team or the other three teams in the playoffs, is so far Corsia has only lost to Froyo and Morning Light, but Morning Light has lost to Corsia, Froyo, and Wonderwall, and then Wonderwall's also lost to Corsia, Froyo, Witness Gaming, and I forgot one of the teams to list, but they've lost to the teams all around them, and it's a bit rough. But I think, I don't know, I really like the style of TF2 that Wonderwall does play. I don't know, I really like watching it, and I want to stick with them because they let me down the last time. One of the times I really rooted for them in a match that I casted, where they played against Corsi on Clear Cut, but it wasn't a steamroll. It was a 4-2. I'd love to watch that game versus Morning Light, but didn't. But I definitely want to see them prosper. But I'm gonna keep it this way. I think Wonderwall is definitely a better playoff, how the playoff works at least team.
Okay, respectable. But I think this is where it starts to get complicated for me on the top three. So we have Froyo, maybe obviously first, and then we have Morning Light and Corsia. I think the fact that Corsia has never played Froyo Tech this season is where it starts to get weird, because we can obviously compare Morning Light to Froyo Tech, but we can't really compare Corsia to Froyo Tech, because like even though that they lost more rounds to teams than Froyo Tech, we haven't had a direct comparison. So I feel like I can't really make any great guesses against them. If I had to say, like, Froyo Tech is obviously better than Corsia, but I think with one of the comparisons between the three teams being non-existent, it's kind of hard to really be definitive on the top three. But I think Corsia might have the advantage. At least it seems more so this time than the last time we ranked these teams. So I think I'm gonna be doing my one change here, and I'm gonna sadly put my boys in Morning Light in third place, and I'm gonna move Corsia up one position.
You're not riding with them? You're not riding with the boys?
They're my team, but if Froyo Tech and Corsia kind of if Froyo Tech rolls Corsia, I might move it back. But the fact that Morning Light, in my opinion, had an upset loss against Wonderwall, I'm gonna have a little bit less confidence in them this go around than last time. But I don't do this lightheartedly. I want the Sandblast and everybody on Morning Light to know that.
Yeah, all I'm saying is it doesn't have to be definitive. This doesn't have to be the correct power ranking. It's your power ranking. But if this is what you want to do, I'm fine. I'm fine with it. But I think we got our third team. So our second teams, second and first teams, I think we're gonna have the same unless you really want to
No,
make a bold prediction here.
not unless Corsia 3-0s Froyo on those 3 matches. I don't think those 2 are going to change. But we'll see.
I hope that happens. That would be crazy.
It would be very interesting, to say the least. But I don't see it happening.
I think that's safe to say. New power rankings. Ours are a bit closer now that the playoffs are really, really close. I think they're 2 weeks away. We still have one thing different. But I think, do we want to do player power rankings? It's been 3 weeks.
Sure. Why not? We can take another look at them. Yeah. How about you go ahead and start on the first class here. The Pocket Scout, I believe.
Let me double check
first
that.
One.
These are right. These names are still right. Okay, that one's different. I think the rosters are all the same now. Ooh. Let me check something real quick. Let me make sure who's on what
Things
role.
have changed.
I need to just make sure who's on Scout for Witness Gaming. I don't know if Yosh is on Soldier. If someone on Witness Gaming in chat can inform me of what they have right now, what Yosh is on, that'd be very helpful. Unless you don't know, then we'll stick with the latest result of Yosh on Soldier, if that is the case.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah, the last scrim they had Yosh on Soldier. So let's stick with that. Yosh is on Soldier, and they have Rio Combo Scout, Smiles Flank, and Yosh Pocket. All right. So we're starting with Combo Scouts. Number 1, I think it's safe to say, Banny, number 1.
Really? Why is that?
I don't know, man. Just a gut feeling.
Yeah, I mean,
going out on a limb.
I agree. I mean, Froyo, like we say 100 times a day. Not much to say about that.
Well, this is where it really gets mixed up, though, because people have had, like, Caps has had a good week. Sandblast had a couple good weeks beforehand, and Brand Slam also had a pretty good week. Rio's had really good weeks, and Shamu, their team just overall hasn't been too great. So this is going to be a big toss-up. I want to see what you got to say for the second Combo Scout on this list.
I'm going to say, looking at the latest results, I'm going to say that Sandblast is good, but I'm inclined to say that Cap might be better with the latest ones, but I think you have to take into account the entire season, so I'm going to still say that Sandblast is at the top of the game, right behind Banny. So I'm going to say Sandblast number 2. How about you?
You know what? I hate to say it. No one tell this guy, but I'm gonna put Brand Slam at number 2.
Really?
I think he brings some calms to the table. I think he's a good leader. I think he's still definitely got stuff to work on. Nobody tell him, because I don't want to compliment him, because I don't want to hear anything. But I definitely think Brand Slam's been doing pretty good this season. He hasn't had like very big pop-off games, but I think he's been pretty consistently a very strong combo scout, and he definitely holds down the fort.
Okay, I can respect.
Plus, Sandblast he didn't really have the pop-off games that he had in like the past games where he really absolutely destroyed. So.
I still think it's a possibility. He's still got it deep in him. It's just a question of when it's going to come out. But I think, other than that, I think Brand Slam is going to be my number 3 pick. Like you said, he's good. He's got a good role in the team. Maybe slight. I think it's difficult to rank him with Sandblast, but I'm gonna put him in a close third. For me. But who is catching your eye for number 3?
So I want to give my props. I want to give my props to people, but I can't because I also don't want to disrespect someone who deserves to be here. So I'm going to put Sandblast at 3. I really want to give more props to some of these guys, but I just can't right now. Can't.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But number 4 coming in here, we agree on the top 3. Bottom 3 might be a bit different here. I'm gonna go out on a limb, and I'm gonna say that Rio, I think,
All right.
it is the best out of the 3 with how he's been performing recently, but it's gonna be close with my number 5. But what are you seeing below those
You know what?
people?
I feel confident. Before I was a bit stressed too. I'll put Caps here. I'm glad to see Rio's getting some love, but I definitely think Caps has. He had that big game in a winning effort. I don't know. Rio's had a big game in a winning effort, but then he's also had a couple big games when he loses. So I don't know if it's empty stats. I'd hate to say it, but I definitely think Caps is he's that leader. He's that guy, combo scout. But I think Rio's definitely an absolute tank on that team where he's dropped 50s, he's dropped 50 over and over again. And I just want to see if he pulls it out in this next week in these crucial matches. He definitely deserves some props to get moved up a little bit. But right now, I'm going to say Caps definitely deserves to be here. And once again, I think he can also move up a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. I would say so as well. That's why I'm going to have him in my number 5 position. Like you said, he's pretty close with Rio. It's just kind of a matter of what you feel like day to day. I feel like it's a Rio day for me, but go ahead and give us your take on number 5.
Number 5, I think it's safe to say it's Rio, and I have checked the logs. I have gotten the someone else has said in the last match that Global Clan has played, they did switch their scout roles. Ed is now in combo. She moves on flank scout. If that changes anything for you.
No, not really.
Okay, all right. I think Ed's gonna be here. I really liked Ed at the beginning of the season, but their team just has had so little success. No success, actually, if you count wins as success. So I don't know. I'd love to see what he could do in a winning effort, but they just can't really pull out a win.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he's not my number. I would say he's not my number 6. He's just not my number 1 through 5. He just hasn't really popped off, and his team hasn't really benefited from really him as much. But yeah, I think that's going to be our power rankings of the first class of Power Scout. But I think we can move on to the next one. Unless you have anything else to say about Ed?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, so we can go ahead and move on to the flank scout. I think we might have an opinion that we agree with for number 1. I think
Yeah, just put him. Put him. We don't need to talk about it.
We'll go ahead and put him at first. I mean, he's not really. I mean, when you think of the first flank scout, you kind of just think of his name. Yite. He's pretty good. No, I'm just kidding. It's Eric. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend you, but I mean, for you, first place, not surprising, but I think we can go ahead and just go on to number 2. Who are you thinking? I think I'm gonna go ahead and put Alpha. I think he's stepped it up since the beginning of the season. I'd like to see what you think is number 2.
Yeah, I'm just double checking the roster. So bot mode is not playing right now. So I'm gonna say, Yite. I don't know. Yite hasn't proved me wrong this season. Although he's not going to be nearly as, I don't think he's nearly as big of a gap between him and the other guys as bot mode was, because he dropped 60 then 50. But I think Yite definitely is super solid and he can get the job done. Yeah.
I think it's going to be the same thing with the Pocket Scout. We pretty much have the same thing, just switched. So I'm going to put Yite as my number 2. And is it going to be the same thing where we just switch?
Do I want to mix it up though?
Do you?
I don't know.
Have you been seeing anything that I'm not been seeing?
I don't think so. Let me make sure. I don't think I can. No, I don't think I can. I think I have to put Alpha at 3 because Howard had a really good start to the season, and the last few games hasn't had like the insane pop off games. I think Alpha's definitely going to fill the role. And I really want to put Howard up here, but the results haven't backed it up. But I definitely think Howard can step it up and has the ability to. And if I want my team to be number 3, I need a little bit of Howard pop off.
Yeah, I would say that too. He definitely looked really good in the beginning of the season. I'm not sure about now. I might have ranked him higher before, but I'm gonna say that number 4 coming in here, out of Howard, Shamu, and Smiles, is gonna be probably, honestly, Smiles. I think Smiles. The last 3 are very close, but I'm just gonna put Smiles at the very top.
I think he definitely deserves some love. We've been sleeping on him. He's been showing up. I haven't watched many games because my computer was broken for a week, and then I had three exams, so I haven't had too much time to watch. But at some point, maybe I'm gonna watch the game they played on Viaduct, but who knows? But I'm gonna put Howard at number 4, I believe.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and respect him as well. I'll put him as my number 5 up there. He's definitely not a name that we can afford to forget this season, and he's definitely still got it in him. So I'm gonna put him as my number 5.
Yeah, I'm gonna put Smiles number 5. I'm glad once again gave one of the guys some love that I don't know if I was super confident on putting high up, but I definitely think we've been sleeping a little bit on the guys on Witness Gaming. But yeah, I'm gonna put him there, and safe to say Shamu number 6. Just once again, their team has 0 wins. It's really rough to put someone above when they have 0 wins.
And that is true. I'm really sorry, Shamu, but I think I think
we had number 2 we'll look at the end. We'll look at our first player power rankings and team power rankings, see how they panned out, I think, at the end of the season. Yeah. But yeah. And now on to roamers. I think we can just check off the first one again.
Yep. Blaze, number 1. Sorry, Trippa, but he's got it.
Disappointment. Trip disappointment.
I'm gonna go ahead and put I'm gonna say Trip. Oh, gosh, how about you start this off?
I'm putting Soapy number 2.
Soapy, really?
He's shown up in a lot of these games. I don't think he's really had a bad game. I don't know. I haven't watched demos, so I don't know if it's. I hate saying it, but I don't know if it's empty stats or not, because I've definitely seen people that drop empty stats in the past. But I definitely think he's had the impact. He's probably been the playmaker on. I keep forgetting these team names. Morning Light. I think he's been the guy on that team. And Trip, once again, I think he's definitely come back from his low of lows, but I think he doesn't deserve to be at number 2 yet. I'm hard on Trip, because I know he can take it.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually agree with you with Soapy. I'm a bit hesitant just because I remember my rankings near the beginning of the season, but I think lately he's been the only one that's really stood out recently. I'm not sure if it says something about him or the other soldiers, but I'm going to have to put him as my number 2, and then maybe pay some respects and put, honestly, Trippa hasn't been doing it for me lately, so I'm going to put Hayes as my number 3.
Okay. Yeah. I'm going to put Trip there. I think Trip's definitely,
still got it.
Trip's still got it. I don't know, that 3 bomb in that game, given I think it was against Froyo, kind of puts me off a little bit, but I see it. I see you. Hayes has been your guy this season so far. I respect it.
But number 4 coming in here, we have who do we have? Rakusa, Walrex. I don't think Walrex has really been surprised me this season, so I'm gonna put Trip. I think he's still a good player. He's not going to be number 6, but he's not going to be number 1. Well, he's number 1 for number 4 for me, so still number 1.
He's the best number 4 there's ever been.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
I like it.
What are you thinking for number 4?
I'm thinking I'm putting Rakuso. Rakuso's been solid. I think overall Wonderwall really had Oh no, that explosive first game. I don't know. I haven't looked at the logs that hard, so I don't know if Rakusa's really been lighting it up. But I think he's definitely been solid. He's been himself. He's that med slayer. He's gonna bomb with fruit, and they do the same thing together, and it's real good. He'll make some plays happen. I think he's definitely solid. Deserves to be in that top 4. And number 5. Who you say? Who are you saying here? I know what I'm saying.
Number 5, I'm gonna go ahead and just follow up on yours. I'm gonna say Rakuso, my number 5. Definitely has made some really good plays, but what are you thinking?
I'm giving it to Walrex. I think he's definitely progressively gotten better. I haven't watched a lot of their matches, but over the time they win games. It looks like he's playing his role. He's done a good job in a couple of these games, like on that Vidic game, got a bunch of med picks, and I definitely think he deserves props given they're still in the playoff race, and I don't think their flank has been a massive hole this season, at least.
Okay. I can see that, but I don't necessarily agree with it.
I respect that.
Walrix might have had like 1 or 2 great games, but I don't think he's. It's hard to see anybody being consistently worse than him, so I'm sadly gonna have to put him as my number 6. But yeah, I think that's our biggest difference right there, number 3 versus number 6. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the roamers, so we can go ahead and move on to the pocket for this season. And I'm going to guess that we have the same person, Jay, number 1.
Yeah. Very interesting,
Yeah.
But I think it's safe to say.
But I guess number 1 for number 2. Who are you gonna put back in there? Ash.
Ooh.
Ash is back, so he's back in the pool.
Oh, I think I'm gonna put Ash there. I think he's a really solid player.
Yeah. I'd be inclined to agree with you. Yeah, I think Ash is gonna take my number 2, but I think Fruit is gonna be very close behind Ash. I'm not sure if that's because he's good or because Ash hasn't been in the spotlight recently, but I'm gonna put Fruit in there because I think he's definitely taken the number 2 space while Ash was gone.
Damn, you're not backing up your boy on Morning Light? Ooh,
I'm sorry.
I gotta give it to Fruit. I think the Soldier combo's been super solid for Wonderwall, and Dingo hasn't played for a while. I think I'm not completely sure, but I heard he's sustaining an injury. I don't know if that's true. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Fruit's definitely been a really solid player, and him and Rakusa have been a killer soldier combo.
Yeah, I would say so as well. But right behind him, I'm gonna say that I'm confused here. I'm inclined to put Yosh last place because I don't think he's not a pocket. He's a sniper playing pocket.
All right, we're gonna count it together.
Count it together.
We're counting him as a player, but he's on this role.
Okay.
So all the things that he does on the role, I think counts.
Okay, then I think I'm gonna put Yosh as my number 4. Even if he doesn't play pocket all the time, as a player, he's gonna be my number 4.
Well, all you know is he's not the other roles, so he kind of has to be pocket at this point because he's not a scout, he's not a roamer. But yeah, I think I'm gonna put Dingo at 4. I think he's a really solid player. Only question is I don't know. I think it was a shoulder injury I heard, and I don't know how that affects. I don't know what shoulder it is. I don't know if it's going to be painful to play. And I don't know if it's the wisest thing to play if it can be irritated at least. But he's fine now. All right. But I think he's definitely still solid. But I just haven't seen him play in a little bit. But I definitely think he hasn't fallen off that bad.
Yeah, that's why I think I'm going to put him as my number 5. I think he still got it. I just haven't seen him do much recently for reasons. But yeah, that's going to be my number 5.
All right, and then my number 5, I'm gonna put Yosh actually because he's we're counting the sniper, and he's looked great on sniper. His soldier actually has also looked pretty good in these games.
Mm-hmm.
You probably wouldn't expect it, and he's he's off that 5 ping wave, and he still shows that that's not all he is. He's not just a number,
Yeah.
But I definitely think he's solid, and I think he's going to surprise a couple guys with how he performs.
Yeah, I definitely hope so. I look forward to him into this playoffs. I'm not sure how he's going to be taking the role on the team, but I think I guess, just process of elimination, we're going to say that Nazara coming in number 6. Like I said before, he's not my number 6. He's just not my number 1 through 5. He's not bad in any sense. But
you're not saying he's last, but you're saying he's below the other guys.
Yeah, I would say so.
But yeah, I think that's all for the pockets. We're on demos. I think you can just write down number 1 and we can move on from there.
Can we?
All right, you putting the Sin Karma up there? What are you putting up there?
No, Habib.
All right.
At least for now, and until we see how they do up against Corsia, I think Habib's gonna be on there unless Corsia just somehow surprises us and actually puts up a fight against Freya. But I think Habib number 1 for us. A lot of the demos are very close, so I think this is gonna be a lot more contentious than previous classes. So go ahead and give us your spiel for number 2.
You know what? I hate to say it because this man is so annoying. I'm going to put Alex.exe at number 2. I don't want to hear anything from this guy, but I definitely think he deserves it. I think Sai's been good in these past weeks, but I think Alex has definitely stepped it up. I think Sai maybe slowed down a little bit, especially after their 2 losses to, I think, the other 2 playoff teams. And Alex, I think, has been keeping it up strong. And if anything, he's gotten better from what he was before, and he's been putting up consistent performances. I think he's kind of in the same boat as Brand Slam, where he maybe doesn't have super explosive, insane 400 EPM, 50 kills, but I think he does 300 at least every game, gets probably even KD at least, and I want to put him up here.
Yeah, you definitely make a good point. It's probably better that he steadily increases over the span of this season rather than being high and then just kind of falling from there. So I'm gonna agree with you, Alex, 2nd place, but right behind him, ready to take his place, is Sai for me.
All right. Ooh, I think I kind of have to put Sai. I want to give my props, but I think Sai hasn't been bad in any of these games. I don't think you could say. Actually, I think he was bad in one of the first matches of the season, but it's been very long since then, so I think you can sweep that under the rug. And he's been Sai. He gets his numbers every game.
Yeah, along with the combo of Sandblast Sai, I think they're really good together, and they're like the power couple, Bani Habib this season. But number 4. I'm gonna say, so we got Vanity, Sam, Sin Karma,
old demo man.
I'm gonna say Sin. He's been on the back burner, I think, but he's still got a light in his eye. I think
he does 300 every game. He always gets his man, but the problem is they don't win every game, but they've been winning somewhat recently.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I'm going to say Sam on Wonderwall, another player. I think Sam's been pretty good. I don't know. Sam's insanely good at clear cut, but some of the other maps has been a bit of a bigger question mark. In the last showing, I closed the log. I wanted to reference it. Let me find it. Here it is. All right. In their last game they played, he went 26-14, 190 DPM, slow game. But I definitely think he's a solid player. I think Sin Karma's good and all, but I like Sam.
Yeah, I respect that. That's why I would put Sam as my number 5. He's definitely not at the top of the list, but there's no real matches where I've gone, man, this is a number 6 player. He has some respectable stuff, not as much as Sin, I think, but He's gonna be my number 5.
And I'm gonna put Sin Karma Alt Demo Man here. He's been very, very good. I don't think anyone was super surprised that he would have done this. Maybe a little bit, but he's definitely shown out and done very, very good in all these games.
Yeah, and process of elimination once again is gonna be Vatty. I can't really remember any games that he's really popped
He's
off.
played recently is the thing.
Yeah.
I don't think we've casted a lot of their games.
No, I definitely haven't. And so that's just, sorry to say, you're just number 6 for us. But moving on to the last class is going to be Medic. Not always in the spotlight, but they definitely have an effect on
The problem is
team.
they're always pointed out when they do bad. So if you don't talk about a medic, they're probably doing their job.
Maybe. I mean, there's still good medics that we point out. But I think it's difficult to say. But number 1, this is going to be the one where we might have some differences. So I'll let you give your number 1 first.
I want to do it so badly, but I can't. I can't do it. I'm putting skis at number 1. I want to do it, but I just can't. I can't right now.
Yeah, I'll have to agree. Maybe after the Corsia for games we can change it up. But who are you thinking? What did you want to do?
Low guy number 2.
Yeah, I would say so as well. He's definitely got a lot of experience that a lot of other medics don't have. But he's definitely a top tier. If you put him on Froyo, he can definitely replace skis without a real fight. But those two are like the obvious number 2 for me. Zilly coming in for my number 3. Maybe slightly below the others, but it's nothing to bat an eye at for me.
No, I definitely think Zilly deserves to be here. Same rankings? Damn. But I think I'm going to pull out a little bit of a surprise, but I want to see what you got to say for number 4.
I'm going to say Virgil, my number 4.
Damn you.
Same?
Yeah. I thought you'd rep your boy. You're not repping your boys. The only boys you're Actually, you've repped a couple of them.
I've
I
repped
take
a
it back.
couple, but
You repped
I mean,
a couple.
no medic is really my boy or girl, but I mean, Virgil's done pretty well these past few
I think
matches.
Virgil's done really well compared to what I expected. And I don't know their team, but I think Virgil contributes to comms like that, and I think that's definitely really big for a medic. At least it's hard to main call for medic just because you're behind everyone, but I definitely think Virgil's been a good surprise this season. And so far, Azen's had a couple bad games where he's really just been exploited and killed over and over again. And it's been the difference maker in a lot of these games, like the one with Wonderwall, the one with Corsia. And I definitely think Virgil deserves some props along with the rest of Witness Gaming.
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, Asian been doing pretty well. I would maybe do him equal with Virgil. I wouldn't be surprised if I switched the two, but I'm gonna put Asian as my number 5. Number 6, sadly, going to Sky again. But Asian wasn't on my radar near the beginning of the season, but I've just seen him perform pretty well these last few matches. So that's going to be my number 5 and my number 6.
You know, this is good. This is sad to see, but it's the first same of the entire season, I think.
I think so.
Yeah, so that's pretty interesting. But I think there could be a couple flip-flops after a couple of these matches, but I think it's safe to say these are the results.
Yeah,
at this moment.
I think so as well. It's glad to see us finally agree on something, but I think there's still a lot of potential for it to switch up, especially after Corsia Ferrario coming into this playoffs. I think a lot of stuff. Maybe if we see some upsets like Witness and Wonderwall, maybe even with Morning Light, these can change. But I think these are pretty solid, at least what we've seen recently.
Yeah, I think that's all we got. Unless there's, I don't think we have a question. So
no, we don't have any questions right now, unless people can come up with them in chat. But that's I think is gonna be it. Unless you have anything else that you wanted to say before we wrap up here.
No, I think that's all. We'll hopefully be back next week. I don't know if we'll have time for a special segment or not, depending. I think we should, so maybe we'll come up with something. Maybe we'll see. But I think that's all we got for this week. We'll see you in at least 1 or 2 matches this next week. Stay tuned on Discord, TF2, RGL, all that stuff to see when we're casting. And I think that's all we got.
Yeah, and just somebody was asking why I'm wearing this. I'm wearing it because it's cold. It's gonna get down to 35 tonight, and I'm in Georgia, and it's cold for me. So it's not really a Halloween thing, but happy Halloween. And I think we're gonna be casting the imposters versus Netgraph. My Netgraph is a war crime for Highlander in about 45 minutes. So we're just gonna.
Team name.
Yes, my Netgraph is a war crime. It's very clever, and their logo is pretty cool as well. Shout out to our graphics team. As a reminder, you can still donate to the Free the Sea charity event, freethesea.net. Donate. We have over $1,700 so far, and if we get 5,000, I'll do a tattoo. But that's just a stretch goal. But I think that's about it. Stay tuned. In about an hour, we're gonna be doing Highlander, but that's gonna be it for the Golden Cap. So we will see you guys next time. Peace.